That's a great question. I mean, it's evolving, right? I mean, AI threats are constantly evolving and constantly changing. What's actually happening now can be critical, not be critical 6 months later, right? I mean, even before that, right? So, I would not focus on the emerging threats as much. It's just understanding the baselines, the foundations, the basics of how to proactively protect an environment. Look at shift left, look at application security, look at involving implemented security at the very beginning of the programming, these sorts of things, infrastructure, zero trust, those sorts of things. And that's going to just kind of help with all the threats that are happening that have AI enablement, right? Because sometimes we're already using AI, we're not even aware of it. And, the technology, the infrastructure is just going to, call out those risks and threats. And if you handle that at that level, you can deal with the AI threats as they come in. It's very important. And I mean, I think SANS has really good hackathons out there. I think we have the director of the summit. I'm sure they probably have a machine learning hackathon or something along those lines to help build that knowledge, build that capture the flag with AI in the mix there, and more more CTFs are going to be out there that have AI components. So just look for those, research those, look them up, and try to get signed up as many as you can. That's a great question. I mean, I think it depends on the sector. So more public sector, government, that sort of thing. So think like DIR, like Governor Abbott just changed DIR to Cyber Command here in Texas. So it's going to be aligned more on that. If anything that's private sector, financial services, more critical infrastructure, that's probably going to stay on its own wing. But higher ed, I mean, does play a role because they're pushing out students that are going to be able to work in these sectors, right? So but as far as dictating what's going to happen, I don't think that's going to happen. um well, there's no such thing as an underrated cyber role. I think all of them are important. But SOC analysts, I mean, I would just say on SOC analysts, nobody really wants to. I mean, they say they're it's kind of churn, just kind of overpopulated, but they're still out there, right? And and companies still need people to look at alerts and review alerts and triage alerts, and using AI to kind of help automate some of that and give them more visibility into the actual things they need more manual review. So it's not really underrated, but just start with a SOC, junior level SOC analyst role. Um, yeah, we've seen these. There's so many, right? I mean, just look at cybersecurity analysts, security risk analysts, somebody who can perform a security risk assessment. Those are always going to be in demand. Those are always going to be important. As much as far as the most on demand, it just depends on the vertical, the sector, and the organization, right? So, just look at what you want, what's important to you, and what's inspiring for you, and focus on that. So I definitely would start with Security Plus because I mean CISSP, if you're just starting out, it's not going to work. You need at least 5, 6 years in practice on at least 4 or 5 of the domains, if I'm not mistaken. I mean they keep on changing that, but especially with non-technical, start with the foundation, start with the basics, understanding networking, understanding infrastructure, understanding development, understanding all that. If you have no technical background to understand that, and then move up from there. But Security Plus, there's a CC. I heard Certified Cybersecurity earlier today. That's also a great one to kind of get your foot in the door and start going. Any more questions? Okay.
Thank you so much,
That Yeah,
Dirce. Thank
yeah,
you for spending the time with us.
We had one more pop in at the last second. That's why I was just
yeah.
Yeah,
I saw. Yeah, it's called Triga, Tragia. Am I satisfied with it? Not so much because I mean it went into a second revision after the first one. I think the first one was really robust and really important. But obviously, higher leaders at higher levels for companies like Tesla. I'm not gonna name names, right? We know who that is, and all these folks kind of had their way of influencing what actually ended up being passed. But it is gonna be aligned to more federal and government work here in the state with Cyber Command. It's gonna be interesting to see how it can help protect protect people from having AI related misuse and loss of data in the AI space here in Texas. So I think it's good, but I mean, am I satisfied with it? Not so much because I mean, I really liked some of the provisions that were in the first law, but that got removed in the second and final revision.